Whoa. Look at it travel through his whole body. That is so cool. It's going everywhere. This is ferrofluid. It loves to climb up magnets, but is there a limit to how far it can climb? I have here a chain of magnets. These are spherical magnets and these are rectangle ones. But watch what happens when I dip them in ferrofluid. You can see that the spherical magnets suck up the ferrofluid until it coats the whole chain of magnets, whereas the chain of rectangle magnets doesn't. You can see it just stops. It just balls up on the end and doesn't go anywhere. Even when I put a ton of ferrofluid on the bottom, it doesn't wick up to the top magnet. So let's try to figure out why this happens. Why do spherical magnets suck up the ferrofluid better? And how long of a chain of spherical magnets can we get sucking up the ferrofluid? Is there some limit or does it just keep going? And thanks to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video. So what's cool about this is the spherical magnets work just like a straw almost, sucking up the ferrofluid. But what's even cooler than this is if you coat an object in these magnets, then the object will get coated in ferrofluid as well. So let's try on something a little cooler than just this chain of magnets. I teamed up with PUBG Mobile, who sponsored this video, to show you their new ultimate suit in real life. In the game, you can see that this dark fluid covers the armor and gets sucked up onto the whole body. Let's see if we can recreate it with ferrofluid and these tiny spherical magnets here. So before we put the ferrofluid on, this is what the model I built looks like for PUBG Mobile's ultimate set. Look how cool this looks. Now let's cover it in magnets. So in order to do this, I'm going to be using these tiny spherical magnets called specks. This is 1,000 of them right here, and I have a bunch more. Okay, we've got it covered now. Let's just touch the ferrofluid and see what happens. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Whoa. Look at it travel through his whole body. That is so cool. It's going everywhere. Look at the ferrofluid just climb up the armor and cover the whole thing really fast as well. That's awesome. It's like it's alive climbing up it like that. It's so cool. Holy cow. Look how much ferrofluid it actually used. Okay, I'm gonna take these off, see what this looks like. They're still just covered in ferrofluid. Look how cool this is. Looks like little worms. Anything it touches just coats it in this dark ferrofluid that stains everything. Ferrofluid spaghetti. That's so weird looking. So why does it do this? Why can spherical magnets just suck up the ferrofluid like this? Before we answer that, let me tell you a little bit about PUBG Mobile and their new Bloodstained Nemesis set. PUBG Mobile is a free-to-play battle royale game where you start by parachuting down on an island with a simple objective: be the last to survive. You can collect loot as you play the game, making your chances of survival much greater. While doing all this, you get to choose your sets, and they've just released one of their coolest sets yet, the Bloodstained Nemesis set that we saw here. Whether you're battling it out in the battlegrounds or showing off your style in the lobby, this set is sure to turn heads. So don't miss your chance to own a piece of gaming history and get your Bloodstained Nemesis set today. Available for a limited time only from April 27th to May 26th. So you can click the link in the description to try out PUBG Mobile and get this new ultimate set. And thanks again to PUBG Mobile for sponsoring this video. But now let's get back to our question that we were questioning earlier. Why do spherical magnets allow the ferrofluid to get sucked up it while other magnets don't? Whoa. Look at that. The secret to this lies in the fact that the ferrofluid is made of tiny nanomagnets that have a north and south pole. The more ferrofluid that you pour on the magnet, the further away the outer layer of ferrofluid gets from the pole of the large magnet. If you bring another magnet near, then you can still this outer layer of ferrofluid with a stronger magnetic field by bringing another magnet closer. So the ferrofluid can actually jump from one magnet to the next. But these magnets also want to stick to each other. But if they're flat, they'll just squish out the ferrofluid in between them, and now the magnet just becomes one big magnet with a north and south pole canceling out the field right here, so the ferrofluid doesn't want to stay there. It wants to move to the poles. So now there's no driving force to go to the other side of the magnet. But when the magnets are spherical, then the fields don't cancel out when we bring two magnets together. Also, there's a space left in between so the ferrofluid can stay at the ends of the magnet and can be free to move to the other side that doesn't have ferrofluid. And since the outer layers of ferrofluid are weakly bound, then there's a driving force for the ferrofluid to want to even out from areas that have a lot of ferrofluid to areas that don't have any. Now what I've done is I put a gap in between each of the rectangular magnets. Let's see if it can climb up it now. Whoa, see, it worked. So all it needs is a small gap in between the magnets and then it can suck it right up. So the spherical magnets provide that gap naturally. But how far can it actually go? Well, let's take our chain of magnets and get them as long as we can. So if you've ever wondered how to clean ferrofluid off a magnet, it's pretty much impossible to get it off unless you wick it off with something like a paper towel. So if you it's kind of like a sponge now, you just have to squeeze it and work it all around, and it absorbs the ferrofluid into the paper towel. Something like this, though, takes a long time because it's in between all the cracks of the spherical magnets. Okay, now I just got to string out my magnets, which I think is going to be a little harder than I initially thought. Now let's see how far they can suck up this ferrofluid. Okay, here we go. Whoa. So as soon as I pour the ferrofluid, it moves very quickly, kind of like in the video with the ultimate set. It immediately engulfs the figure. I kept thinking it would slow down, but it just kept moving up the chain. I thought it would run out of steam, but it just kept moving. So I kept providing ferrofluid at the source and it just kept moving up it. Slowly moving up the chain. So it's kind of slowing down now. We're about 5 feet away from the source. It's slowed down significantly, but it's still moving very slowly. Okay, it's been about a half hour and it's still inching along. It's slowed down, but it's still moving at a pretty regular pace. And see how long it's gone. Look at that. It's kind of wicked out of the bowl here. I think gravity's kind of gets up and over, but then once it's here, it kind of keeps draining out. It's kind of spread all over down here, but then it goes all the way up here. Look at that. Look at this, it literally made it all the way to the other end with plenty of ferrofluid at the end. You can see it goes all the way down. Look how long. Made a mess down here because it just kept pulling out the ferrofluid from the bowl, so it just kept going. So it's really wicking out the ferrofluid. That's crazy how long it is. Around 239 inches. So this is about 20 feet of ferrofluid that can be sucked up with these magnets here. So what this is a very good analogy to the capillary force. You can see this is almost like a small tube that through the capillary force can just suck up water. So I don't think there's a limit horizontally to how far this can go. It could just keep going indefinitely. There's no reason why it should stop. Vertically it stops because the gravity force will eventually outweigh the capillary ferrofluid force pulling it up. So no matter how long this is, the ferrofluid will just keep wicking all the way up it. It just keeps going. And thanks again for watching another episode of the Action Lab. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, remember to like this video and also subscribe. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.